go. Welcome back to Coffee Talk. I am again with Lauri Stern, and we're here talking about the sixth chakra, right? The sixth, the third eye, which is kind of, I don't know, it's always been a little mystical to me. Yeah, a little woo-woo, but you know, this is
now
cool.
we're into like Stevie Nicks realm, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit of the, I think of the weirdness. That's what I think of, is like the third chakra, the third eye thing.
Oh, and I go to magic and witches and like, you know, that's so funny. So Ajna chakra, it's Ajna. In yoga, I know some of us just sort of morph together and we say Anjana chakra, but it's actually spelled Ajna. So Ajna chakra. So if you say it, you can sort of hear it. And yeah, it's the third eye. And so really it's the space right above the bridge of the nose. So to recap, because this is the cool reason we're recapping, you know, back in our root chakra, we talked about, where it all begins, right? The roots and the three energy channels, the central line, the Sushumna, and then you've got the left side, the Ida, and the right side, the Pingala. And we discussed that the left side, the Ida, is the more feminine energy, the moon, and the Pingala is the more fiery sun male energy that we all have in us, no matter what our gender might be. Mm-hmm. And where those two lines crisscross the Sushumna are where the chakras reside, right? So they begin at the root chakra, and where they end is the sixth chakra. Okay. So all that crisscrossing's been going on up to now, and now we're done. So when we focus on our third eye, often we meditate or sit or think with our eyes closed, with the eyeballs drawn up to the bridge of the nose. Mm-hmm. And so we do that also to help balance the chakra and create space for listening to the chakra, which is our intuitive mind. Okay. Right. So the statement, the power statement for the chakra is I see, or to see, right? Mm-hmm. And the color is purple or indigo. Mm-hmm. Like I said, starting with the throat chakra, we're up in my favorite color realm here. And so the cool thing is it's only got two petals. And so that's represents the right and the left side. And in the middle is the triangle going down, which we discussed is bringing spirit to embody. Yeah. And so all the work we've done in the lower chakras, ends up here. And so we begin to open and expand our creative mind, our open mind. And so it's all about what we can see in our eyes, right? Mm-hmm. But also what we can see beyond our own eyes. Mm-hmm. And that takes faith and courage and a belief that there is something else to see. Mm-hmm. And if you're a person that doesn't believe it, and you're happy about that, then, that's not for you. If you're a person who really wants to believe there's more and get all fired up or fearful, then that's a good way to recognize you might have some work to do moving up to this chakra, the belief in more, right? Like the stuff we can't see, beyond the veil, beyond the curtain, and so when we have some headaches and we can't sleep very well and our thoughts are foggy and murky, that's a check-in to say, maybe I've got some imbalance going on in my third eye chakra. And also following your dreams, being able to dream and follow your dreams with a whole, full heart and, all the other chakras involved in a balanced way, mm-hmm. Is a way that we operate from a balanced side of this. Mm-hmm. The other side is never having dreams at all, or even believing that you're allowed to, or knowing how to follow them. That's silly, who's got dreams, Yeah. So this is a real moving up to real faith-based, not faith religiously, although it can be, but just having faith that there's just more. That there's more. And if I lose people here, that's okay. Not everybody wants to be up here mm-hmm. or think about up here, but note to self, that means you got some work to do. So, so the question is, why not? What's so hard about believing in magic.
Sure. There's got to be more out there. There has to be. Yeah,
Right.
sure. Yeah.
Well, you know, and whether there is or isn't, the idea is, does it make you have a charge and a cringe to even have a discussion about it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, do you encounter people that sort of bat that stuff away? Oh, you know, and you can just kind of smile and say, you've got some work to do. So, because you know better now.
Yeah, right. What's the sound for this one?
The sound for this one is like there's AH or
Okay.
and so it's closer to the om that we hear, and the keynote is E.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you know, it's about the thoughts we have in our mind, what we see physically and literally, but then also what we might be able to see spiritually, and vision, intuition, psychic abilities. You know, if anybody out there has those, that's, you got a really open third eye, and wisdom and insight. You know, we have those friends we know that are so wise and insightful. They're really fired on this, you know, they're really tapped in. And so that's really cool. It's perception of the subtle. You know, you can sense.
Do you think they're like really consciously tapped into that? Or do you think that it's more of a, like those people that are very intellectual or very like all seeing, you know, mystical, do you think that they're consciously aware that their third eye is open, or is it just kind of like, it just is that because it's always been that and I've always been that way, you know? I mean,
yeah. That's a great question. I know there's people that walk around not knowing their power, and they're just who they are, and we like those people because of what they represent. Like, I can go to somebody and say, well, I really need your wisdom right now. And that person might not even ever have done chakra work or even know what chakras are, but they're just tuned in that way. I feel like people who are cultivating psychic ability and intuitive mind stuff probably do a lot of meditating on this and working to open up and remove obstacles in the way, which start down below, and you know, they're more able to see those blockages probably. I think like anything, it's a muscle to exercise, you know, stretching our imagination, stretching our belief in our dreams. You know, is that hard work for people? Is that something to exercise and just kind of try out? And I know the more we do those things, you know, it's like this, right? So I first met you at yoga class, and this happens to everybody, right? So, or you meet somebody for the first time on the street, and then don't you see them like 4 more times that week?
Of course. Yeah.
You've never seen this person before, right?
And then you run into them everywhere.
Exactly. And that's like, to me, that's one of those secret magical veil removals, that we are all connected. You know, and the minute you sort of make a connection, the universe reminds us, oh yeah, you're connected. You're going to see this person now. Like, they're in your consciousness. I love it when that happens. That's such a cool thing.
I think that's neat. Definitely.
Yeah. And those are little giggles, like, you know, my teacher will say, you know, that's the universe giving you a little smile. Like, you know, you're not alone, and you're not all that. Sometimes the universe will say that. But also just reminders that, you know, there's more out there. And if you choose to explore it, you're kind of rewarded with these little magical moments. I like to think of it that way.
Is this the Deja Vu phenomenon too? Is that where this is? Is that this third eye thing a little bit? Or
probably. Yeah. I never really looked at it that way. One of the imbalances that we see is actual delusions. Not being able to understand what reality is. So that's a huge way off imbalance. But like living, you know, I talked about this in the root chakra, right? We know the people that are too immobile, too grounded, and they can't think about this stuff. But at the same time, there's people that are only up here and they can't tie their shoelace across the street, right? So we see some of these things where there's people to the low end where like I said, there's actual delusion. They can't understand what reality is. Putting that real true pain aside and dis-ease. More subtle things, like I said, are lack of sleep, fear of the truth, fear of the power of the unknown, fear of the unknown. Very grounded in dogma and rigid in what they can see. And to those people in an imbalance, what they see is all they know. You know, if I can't see it, I can't believe it, I can't trust it.
Yeah.
And that's okay, right? And it's okay if they're happy being that way.
Yeah.
And how they encounter people who are maybe like us, you know, having a conversation, an existential conversation. What comes up for that person? Is it fear, which we know now often translates as anger? Stop talking about that because I can't think about it.
Right.
So you need to stop, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, that's a little time you can just sort of smile and just say,
You have work to do. Yes. That's another t-shirt we got to make. You have work to do. I like that.
I love it.
I think that's,
I'll buy that.
Yeah. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Hashtag you have work to do. We're going to do that.
That's true. That's true. Oh my, you know, lack of clarity is another way that we encounter imbalance here. Like you just can't get your thoughts together. And I feel like we all need to give ourselves a big hug and a big break right now because I don't even know what day it is anymore.
I think so many things are so unclear right now. It's hard to focus on your own clarity when the whole world is not clear. So
yeah.
No, I think you're right. I think you just need to give yourself a break for this one a little bit.
Yeah. But, you know, spend time dreaming, spend time, you know, leave room for dreams, leave room for meditating and sitting quietly and bringing your eyeballs up to this area. And you may start to see colors or like a color purple. And, you know, the minute I see something like that, it goes poof away. And I'm like, darn, where'd it go? But just sometimes, and you've heard me say this in class, you know, when you draw your eyes to your third eye and you present a question you might have been wrestling with, or a decision you need to be making. Sometimes you might get an answer. It might be revealed to you, not in that moment, but later in the day or in a dream. You know, so it's fun to play with the power of this, in my opinion, and see what happens. Not to like get a spell book and put a spell on somebody in a bad way. I'm just saying for your own intuitive mind.
Don't make any voodoo dolls.
Right. Right.
So foods and stuff to eat.
Foods and stuff. So I just wanted to also say one of the things I learned in you know through the years with this too. It's the people who are unfortunately rigid with stereotypes are also sort of presenting a deep imbalance in their third eye chakra because they can't see beyond. Again, it's their belief system is so grounded in all this stuff that they can't make room for anything else. Like women are this way, men are this way, religious people are this, you know. And so, and again, those people have really great abilities in areas that serve them well. But if you encounter someone who is really just rigid in a stereotype, chances are, from what I've learned, it could just be a little imbalance with their ability to just make room for the other ideas and visions and other people, right? Because this chakra is all about really revealing the way we're all connected. And so the first work is believing that we're not alone in our little corner of the room, but we're tapped into something beyond us if we choose to believe it. And that's a huge leap of faith for people, just to make that first step to sort of plug in to the invisible unknown and say, okay, here I am. Take me on a ride. Where are we going? Right?
Oh, yeah. I'm up for that. I'm totally I was thinking, too, when you were saying that they're stuck, you know, I was just like, well, you could just walk around knocking people in between the eyes all the time. That would unstick them. And then maybe some of that prejudice would fall away.
Maybe. I mean, but, you know, we think about our tremendous visionaries, our explorers and our inventors. You know, without those people, we wouldn't have this light bulb next to me, the computer in front of us, you know, so we need those people. And hopefully they've, you know, we know some of those people might have been in our history books a little crazy, a little out there. And that's just where they were stuck. But because of that, they gave us what they could, right? And I guess if they wanted relationships, they would have had to learn to navigate their abilities and bring it down a little bit. So, yeah, so, you know, everybody makes the world go round, and we all have gifts to share and give. And, but it's also nice to, like we talked about with our fifth chakra, to speak the truth with love. So if you see someone who is too la 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 la, you know, come on, bring it down. You can say, you know, hey, I noticed you're kind of stuck out there a little bit. You know, can I help you? You know, bring yourself, you know, what can I do for you? So it's nice too. Oh, the foods. So purple foods like eggplants and plums. So we talked about plums with the blue chakra, but they come up again here. Turmeric again. There's the repeaters. And purple kale, blueberries again, fifth chakra, sixth chakra, figs. And, you know, the best way to sort of tap into this at home again is just making room for dreams, maybe making a dream catcher, writing down your dreams if you can, creating a vision board, because that is, you know, we've all heard the books, you know, law of attraction stuff, you know, make a vision board, you know, who's to say it doesn't work? And that's the faith. That's like, if you feel it's ridiculous, kind of do it anyway. You might be really rewarded, you know. So now's the time to get out that bulletin board or just stick stuff on the wall and make a vision board.
Yeah, cool. That's a great idea. I love that.
Yeah.
That idea. Yeah.
And ask yourself, you know, do you even have a vision of what your next week will be, next year, 5 years, whatever your goals are? Has anybody thought about that in a while? You know, we kind of just move along. Right. And continue on. And, you know, do we ever pause and say, am I following my dreams? Am I following my path? Outside having to earn a living and make money and all that and pay our bills, what else could there be? And have I forgotten that? Yeah. You know? Yeah. So it's a fun, creative way to sort of just
put that vision board somewhere where you can see it all the time too.
Like, right. That's the key.
Don't tuck it away in a corner somewhere, but look at it. And
right.
That I want to do this. I still want to do this. I still want to go there. I still want to, absolutely. Yep. That's cool.
Yeah. And like, you know, to the vision board exercise, stuff can come up, you know, about our roots and our other chakras. So let's say you on your vision board say $1 million or vacation of my dreams or a new home. And then your little voice says, do you deserve that? You know, that's a really good message to sit with where that came from, why that's come up, heal that little person, even if it's just saying to yourself, yes, we do, we deserve this, you know, and put it out there anyway on that board, even if it's uncomfortable. Sometimes we just need to sit with the discomfort, honor it, recognize it, don't ignore it or have like emotions and anger with it, but notice if that comes up too. But just where that stuff churns when we're doing this work in these chakras is so fun, scary, important, whatever. Yep. So jot it down if stuff like that comes up.
Great. Yeah. It's a great idea.
Awesome.
Yeah. Cool.
So my friend Laura, I got a beautiful stone from her that is, of course, I just forgot the name of it now. I think it's iodolite, I believe, or labradorite. It's labradorite. And it's a half stone. I could grab it and show you, but it's flat on one side and raw on the other. And so when I'm going to bed, actually, I put this thing on my third eye because it's indigo. And I just sort of, you know, do my nighttime ritual, prayers or whatever thoughts. And I feel like sometimes I have better dreams when I do that.
Oh, that's good.
Stay on there. I fall asleep and it falls off somewhere in my bed, you know. But
you wake up with a bruise on your elbow.
I hold it in my hand, you know, when I'm meditating on this, you know, anywhere, because I just love it. It's beautiful. Yeah. So
crystals is like you said, it's a whole different show. We could shows for days, and that
Shows for days.
one.
Yeah.
I mean,
I wanted to do the mudra for this one because it's one of my favorites. So this one is called, I have to look at the word for it, sorry. It's called Kalishvara mudra. And so this one is beautiful. So it's middle fingers connected, all the other fingers curled in, and then your thumbs connected. And we've talked about this in class. It makes a heart.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And so, you know, you can place it on your third eye. You can place it anywhere you need to feel that expansiveness, in my opinion. But it's just so beautiful. I just love it. So I think you can see it better there. And so that's the one that I like. And then if you're into yoga and want to sort of get into this chakra, child's pose when you have your forehead on the mat, and then any forward fold, down dog, any uttanasana, wide-legged fold, and also, camel and back bends also open up the chakra. And just like we talked about fifth chakra, plow pose and things that kind of close your throat also connect here too.
Okay. All right.
So.
Good to know. Excellent. Yeah.
Cool. All
right.
Dream on.
That was the third eye. So let's get dreaming.
Now I have to look at if the song Dream On is in the key of E, I wonder.
Oh, yes. We should find out. Please let us know if that's written in the song of E.
I will.
That'd be really
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah. Thanks, Lauri. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep. We got one more left, and then you're on your own.
Yeah.